and there was a boy there that I had a crush on, and it was great to be out in the dark because he couldn't see my scaly, monstery face. And he like leaned over to like give me a kiss on my cheek. And you guys, I remember
On
to
her
this day, his
cheek.
eyes got so big, and I was like, I know I'm really burnt. I was like a monster, and he was
Yeah.
like, that killed it for him. I never heard from that dude again.
Oh,
And it was
Oh,
like, I kind of know
buddy.
it, like a leopard. I felt like a leopard, kind of. But yeah, I guess I learned to like wear a hat and to wear sunblock. Welcome to Three Little Fishes. We're three sisters who grew up in the Midwest together, but have since spread across the country. I live in Los Angeles.
I'm in Nashville.
and I live in Philadelphia. We are all married with children, have all had careers, but now we stay at home with our families.
Join us as we share secrets and stories about being women, wives, and mothers.
We welcome you to laugh along, learn something new, reach out, and join our conversation.
So let's jump in.
What's up, fishes?
What's up, fishes?
All right, so we had some feelings about the Oscars, who was going to watch, who wasn't. Oscars are now in the books. Did you guys watch?
Nope.
I actually did. I said I normally fall asleep. I think I said on the previous podcast, but I was traveling home from being in Texas and I was up. So we watched it and I couldn't, I enjoyed it, of course. I didn't really have any big feelings about, oh, they shouldn't have said that or whatever. But then I did watch, like we talked about, Conclave and Wicked, but I had not seen Anora, which swept they won a ton of awards. So post Oscars, I said to my husband, I'm like, you know what is this Anora about? Like everybody was like raving about it. So we watched it. And my husband is like, he looks over at me. He's like, we're watching like a porno. I mean,
Is it?
It's supposed to be like, I think I've heard somebody explain it to me like Pretty Woman, the X-rated version.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on steroids.
X-rated. I mean, I don't really understand. I mean, I'm not like a total prude, but like we both are like, why is this movie sweeping everything? And this is the best movie ever. It's about a sex worker and this Russian oligarch son. They have a relationship and then his parents are like, hell no, like you're not staying with her. They basically trash her. And I mean, the whole thing is just like them having sex. And like, I was like, I did not get it.
How
like
is
it was
this
not
the
that
best
great
picture we could come up with for the whole year?
Yeah, exactly.
I didn't see it.
It's interesting. So it won. Sean Baker directed it, edited it, wrote it, and co-produced it. So he won because it won Best Picture. That guy won. Sean Baker won 4 Oscars personally off this movie. Wow. And then Best Actress, it was an upset. So Mickey Madison, who played the lead in Aurora, upset Demi Moore because she was winning all the awards up to this point, and she lost it to this young actress. And I think she's the youngest actress to win.
Well, I mean, I thought that she did a good job. Like her acting was pretty good, but like she was, again, a lot of these films, they're like naked half the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I just really did not understand why this won Best Picture.
Yeah, in all fairness, I did not see it, but yes, I feel like they did upset if you had any pre-notions of what you thought Oscar was going to take home.
Like, is that what we're promoting? Is like people get in the sex working industry? I mean,
yeah.
Well, he was saying, Sean Baker was saying that he's just trying to give a voice to this community. I don't know.
Do they need an extra voice? Like, what's going on here? Are we trying to be Amsterdam? I don't understand that logic.
I don't know. So then the other upset, I think, was Amelia Perez that was nominated for like 13 Oscars, only took home 2. So Zoe Zelnada won Best Supporting Actress. And I thought her acceptance speech was so great and very moving. And she looked amazing. Her dress was like this bubble dress with a jewel top. I thought she looked amazing.
Beautiful woman.
And then Best Song. So they only won 2. I know she's gorgeous.
Amazing. She's gorgeous.
Adrian Brody won for The Brutalist, and if I'm being completely honest, I was so disappointed that he won. And he also was getting up to give his speech, and he took his gum out of his mouth and threw it at his date to catch. Which, by the way, he didn't catch it. Like, what are you doing,
that is
man?
Gross.
Like, what are you doing? And then he got up there and he like made the longest speech. It was so boring and kind of lectury. And I don't even know what he's trying to lecture about. I was not impressed. And if I'm being completely honest, I think Timothée Chalamet should have won that award. And I'm
My
a little bitter
boyfriend
about
should
it.
have won.
I know.
He should have.
Yes, I don't
I think
understand
that was just too bad.
Yeah, the Oscars.
Classic.
I don't know. I was not feeling great about the whole thing.
But I thought on the whole
Sorry,
they did.
girls.
I thought Conan O'Brien did a really good job hosting. And for the most part, I enjoyed it.
Oh.
And I thought the speeches were pretty good.
Queen Latifah was really good too.
Oh, she was. And she looked amazing.
She did.
Awesome.
She was very entertaining. I enjoyed watching her.
Her performance was very joyful. And yes, I agree. I totally liked it too.
You were entertained.
Other thing I noticed, yes. And the other thing I noticed about fashion, just real quick, that I thought was kind of fun is the men were wearing like jewel pins on their lapels. And I thought that was like, it gave them a pop of color. And I thought it was kind of fun. I haven't really noticed that before. Sassy. But I thought, I thought it was kind of neat.
What I'm hearing is when you go to your Eddie Awards for your husband's nomination, he's going to be wearing a jeweled stick pin on his lapel.
Yeah, he should.
So listeners,
I have thought about it.
Our producer is up for a very prestigious award for editing, and they get to go to an award show next week. So keep fingers crossed for the Little Fishes producer, Tim Wilsbach.
Yes.
Let's go.
Cross them.
Linda, speaking of fashion, we've been getting some comments. People, sending us comments and having a conversation with us about the pod that they've been watching or listening to. But we had several people who watched the pod last week and had very strong opinions about your sweater.
I know, and my flower sweater was getting some hate.
Yes. Listen, you were wearing a flower sweater that people had very strong opinions about.
I wonder why they hated it so much.
Bring it on.
Keep listening, keep watching, bring on the comments. We love to hear them if they're good or bad.
Yes,
and
100%.
Please share with your school of fishes to jump in and join our conversation.
100%. Yep.
All right, y'all. We are going to be talking about some hot topics and spring break and what's for dinner. So let's jump in. Hot topics.
Well, did you guys see that Gene Hackman and his wife were found dead in their house, like partially mummified?
I know, it's weird.
I don't think they've really figured out what happened to them. And Gene Hackman was like 95 years old, so like his death is not astonishing. Yeah. I just feel like it was sort of like a sad way to go. Potentially to be found in your house dead. And then his wife, who was, I think, 65, and their dog was dead, like in its kennel. I mean, it's just like sad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I hope it was not foul play, but it sounds to me like maybe it was a medical emergency kind of situation. Maybe. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it will come out, but that makes more sense. Like, maybe he had a heart attack or something and she tried to like go get him medicine and fell while she was trying to get pills because there are pills scattered in their bathroom.
Like they were dropped or something.
Yeah. But anyway, I don't know.
It's sad. He was such a good actor.
Well, they say that they are super nice people.
Well, they were. Yeah.
Yeah. I just... Wow.
Okay, and the other death
Well,
that we had, and it's very sad, and there's a lot of news going on here in Tennessee about it, is Dolly Parton's husband passed away.
yes.
And even though he was never like out in the spotlight strategically, they were married for like 60 years.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that has to
And
be
it's
hard.
sad because I think they
And I always,
did really love each other. It seems like they did.
well, and they made a choice. Like she always talked about their marriage of it was just the two of them and carving out their careers and living how they
Mhm.
wanted to live and being mindful.
Mhm.
It was just the two of them and being a team. And I
Mhm.
wonder, like, from that standpoint, he's been your constant for 60 years. You
Mhm.
made that conscious choice to just work on your careers and have each
Mhm.
other and not have kids, which is fine. Not everybody needs kids, but like 60 years for your constant somebody and then to have them
Yeah.
gone, like
Yeah, it's
it's a,
hard.
that's a big loss on so many levels, right? Like business partner,
Totally.
friends, like all of it.
Right.
So poor Dolly.
Our condolences.
This is completely different. I'm taking a right turn, but I've been watching The Lotus. Do you guys watch The White Lotus?
I've watched the
Mhm.
other seasons, but I have not watched the new one yet.
I'm not loving it so far, and I'm so bummed because I've really enjoyed the previous
Oh,
seasons.
why don't you love it?
It's just kind of been a slow roll, and I'm like, what is going on?
I agree. Like they gave us like a little glimpse of the drama that's going to happen at the end. What I do find fascinating though is whoever wrote the women characters is doing such an authentic job of how women sometimes communicate with each other that don't see each other all the time. And, I just have found that sort of like funny to watch. And then Parker Posey to me is so hilarious. I mean, she plays such a kooky, not like
She
crazy
always
person,
plays
but she's
that.
just like a little wonky and
Yeah,
but she does it in such a straight way that you're
yeah,
like, wait, what?
yeah,
So I agree. It
totally.
is a little slow paced, but the writing is incredible. And so it will be interesting to see how it all flushes out. I don't
So
know.
it
We'll
is
see.
interesting that you brought up. It's interesting that you brought up the women on the trip because there's these three women that are
Yeah.
like
Old
friends for a
friends. Yeah.
while, but it's like they're so funny. They're like, "Oh, you look amazing. No, you look amazing." But then
Yes.
they're off like talking privately, like,
Yes.
"I don't really think she looks amazing." And then it gets me thinking, like, do you go on these girl trips and are these side conversations of like, "No, you look amazing," and then she leaves and it's like she doesn't look that amazing, you know?
Right.
Yeah, she looks tired.
That she could use a lift.
Yeah, yeah. I
So I
don't
don't know.
know.
But Linda, it got me thinking about spring break
Yeah.
because jumping into our next topic, you're getting ready to go on spring break with some women,
I am.
18-year-old boys.
Yeah.
So,
Because why wouldn't you want to do that?
so, so
Yeah.
is this a girls' trip or is this a trip with moms monitoring their 18-year-old sons?
So I actually was with one of the moms this afternoon. We were doing a little work at the Children's Hospital, and I actually asked this question, and she said, I kind of feel like it's a girls' trip and with the side hustle of the boys because they are big. They can manage themselves, and if they need something, we'll be there. But it's more of a girls' trip, I think. And I was kind of thinking about this because as seniors, we're going to the Dominican Republic, so they're 18 and they're legal there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if they could have gotten their own hotel rooms. And I did kind of like search around a little bit. 18 is the age that you can get a hotel room unless you're going someplace that is like spring breaky or whatever, and then they raise the age to like 21. And they can do that haphazardly. So I think there's a practicality to it just to make sure, because we are clearly all over 21, just to make life easy for them, just be there. But it's not necessarily to like monitor them or squash their fun or them squash our fun. I think, potentially this could be a trip of stories for a long time.
Right.
We'll see.
In what way? Stories for the moms or stories for the boys?
Yeah, I think both potentially. Yeah. Because some women are like, that I'm going with are, footloose and fancy free and like party fun, like good time girls. And some are more like quiet and, it's just the gamut of
It's so
everybody.
funny that you just said that. So when I was a senior in high school, I went down to Florida. It was back in the day where we lived. People would go to Florida and they would go to
Yeah.
Panama City. And so I went with my good friend, and her parents didn't want to go on the trip. So they sent her sister that was in college with her friend. So we basically went down with no supervision with two girls that were in college to hang out. But there were some parents that were down there with friends of ours. And one day they were like, "You guys, y'all, you're going to go to college next semester. So for whoever wants to go, we're going to take you guys to a strip club so you can just see what it's like." And I'm not kidding you. And to this day, I remember vividly going to the strip club with some of these moms, and they were handing us all these dollar bills to shove into these dancers like G-strings. And honestly, I just think to myself, I don't think our mom would have. I don't know if mom knows that story, number one. And number two, can you imagine mom being like, "Hey girls, I'm taking you to a strip club. Here are your ones. Go have fun."
Yeah. I can tell
Are
you
you
that
taking
is
them,
not,
Linda?
no, that is not happening on my watch. Like if it happens, like I don't want to know about it. Like, and I'm not advocating that.
I mean, what about, or like body shots? Maybe, you guys are clubbing in in your hotel, and the boys come in and you moms are gone wild and having, tequila body shots done.
I mean, I think that part of life is past. Like no respectable 20 or 25-year-old guy there wants to participate in 55-year-old women's body shot stuff, right? I mean,
I don't know. I mean,
I would have to pay a lot of money, I think, to have somebody do that.
are the moms allowed to hang out with the boys? Or is it kind of like we're just there as guardrails just in case?
Yeah.
But otherwise, we're all having separate trips.
The only thing we really have said is like there's going to be one night where we're going to have dinner together, and we might rent like a big boat one afternoon and go snorkeling and like hang out and lunch and stuff together. But other than that, I mean, the boys are sharing a room. I have a friend that I'm sharing a room with. We're all kind of like, we're in the same resort. It's huge though. And the only other thing I would say is everybody needs to stay on property. It's not necessarily unsafe, but it's, everybody needs to stay on property.
Well, they probably have a nightclub. Will you be clubbing?
I do plan on going out one night, and there is a club there, but it doesn't open till 11 p.m. And I do want to go, and I do want to do bottle service. And so I've asked the ladies if they want to do that. And they're all like, a couple of them were like, yeah, I think I could do that. But most of them were like, I'd have to really nap in the afternoon. I said, well, why don't you plan and let's make it happen.
I think you should do it.
Yeah, right? Why not?
Are you really tight with all these women? Are you guys all the same age?
So I'm by far the oldest. So I'm 58. We have somebody who's going who's like 45, maybe two ladies that are 45. And then
They definitely will go clubbing.
Yeah, I know one woman is going to turn 50 when we're there. And then everybody else is like in the early to mid 50s. So, a 10 to 15 age difference. Yeah.
Yeah, because when you're 40, you're still wild. You're still like ready to roll.
Live it up, girl. Yes. So I'm all for it. I mean, it is a little different just like physically. Like if I go clubbing one night, I'm going to sleep the whole next day by the pool. Like there's just no way. I'll be so tired. It'll take me days to recover from that. And not even from the drinking, but just being up until like 3 a.m. That wears me out. But
so interesting that you're saying
we
that.
should do it.
I think, Kathy, you're not like that. Like, Kathy, I feel like you can stay up late and you can drink your heart out and you can do it again the next day and be like, yeah, I'm fine. I just need a little nap, but I'm ready to go.
Actually, I was with my son Grayson in college in Texas this weekend, and we did stay out late. I mean, really late, like 2 a.m. And I hung. I mean, you'd be proud. I didn't hang as long as he did. And then he said to me, "You didn't drink as much as I thought you would." Like
Oh.
I didn't really,
Yeah.
it wasn't like reliving my college years.
Right.
Or
I
high
mean, that
school
would just
years.
take you down.
I know. Kathy, what was your high school story of your spring break? I feel like there was one there of on the Strip. You were in Panama City too, right?
I've been on many trips down to Florida, like in high school and when I was in college too. And especially, I have a shout out to my friend Lori because I was with her a
Hey,
lot of
Lori.
times. But I do remember one spring break trip. Her parents took us down to Panama City Beach. And, you just find guys or whatever to hang out with. And, I don't even know where the beer came from, but I was partaking in drinking. And,
It just showed up.
Well, back then too, like
Yeah.
you don't even drink that much, but it does affect you. Not like it does.
Because you weighed maybe 90 pounds at that time.
So, but she reminded me because I just saw her and she was like, "Do you remember that you were like puking out the door in the car on the way home?" And I was like, "Yeah, I totally remember that." Like I got so sick, and I think it was from the drinking, but I also get car sick too. So it was like a double.
Yeah.
I love that you're trying to even play a little bit like I was car sick. I wasn't hungover. I was car sick as I'm hanging my head out the window going down the Strip.
Well,
with
anyone that
Lori's
has hung out
parents.
with me knows I get car sick. So that's not a surprise. I do throw up on people. But
yeah, you do.
That trip was really fun, except I also got really badly sunburned. Like literally, I look like a lobster. And my friend Lori's mom was like, "What have you done?" Like,
yeah,
she's trying to
like
upset her.
Put aloe on my face. I mean, I was miserable. Like it was really sad.
That is the worst. I had that same issue happen to me when I was on my trip without any parents and I had burnt my face. Like it looked like a monster kind of. It's the only time I've ever really done that because I guess I learned. But I remember at night we would always be on the beach. Like you'd meet up on the beach and hang out with, all your friends or whatever, new friends that you met. And there was a boy there that I had a crush on, and it was great to be out in the dark because he couldn't see my scaly, monstery face. And he like leaned over to like give me a kiss on my cheek. And you guys, I remember to this day, his eyes got so big. And I was like, I know I'm really burnt. I was like a monster. And he was like, that killed it for him. I never heard from that dude again. And it was like, buddy. I kind of know it like a leopard. I felt like a leopard kind of, but yeah. I guess I learned to like wear a hat and to wear sunblock.
Yeah. I mean, I think this is just what spring break is.
It's like
if you
the
get
rite
the
of
chance
passage.
to go, it's a rite of passage. I mean, you got to make some dumb choices. You hopefully get home safe and sound with like minimal sun poisoning. And
so, Linda, do you feel responsible?
Get home alive.
Get home alive.
Do you feel responsible for the kids that are going without parents? Like, do you feel like there's an extra pressure on you because you are going to be there? And although you're saying that, they're big and they're on their own, you are there. It sounds like a little bit of a guardrail. Does that put extra pressure on you or not really?
I mean, if I have to bail you out of jail, I will. I'm going to really be unhappy about it, but I will do it. There will be consequences to that. But, I mean, we're guardrails for sure. We're in another country. There is danger there. There are things going on. And I do want them to be aware and like be smart about it so that, we have a great time.
Do you feel any sadness that this is your last kid in like high school, like that you're able to do this with? Like there's,
Yeah,
he's like, is there some sadness with that of feeling like maybe you wanted to go on this trip too, to like have this last hurrah before he goes off to college?
I think there is a little bit to that. I feel like this is our third one, and it's kind of happened bang, 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 and, senior year is bittersweet. It's one of those years where you're like so excited for them to do the next thing. My senior is definitely ready. And it is probably my last spring break with him. I don't spring break with my girls because they have their own lives going on. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it is sort of sad, and I hope I'll see him and we'll have fun together, but it's not really about me. It's about him.
Yeah.
And I kind of think it's sort of hitting me. Just he's a athlete, and we're wrapping up that whole part of life, and we're about to like accept the college acceptance, and we're ready to do all these next things. And so the lasts are definitely hitting home.
Yeah.
I'm hoping the Dominican Republic will be like good weather, good food, lots of drinks, dancing, fun. I hope the moms all have a great time. The boys have a great time. We're going to the Hard Rock. I know there's some gambling that they're going to do. And I think they're anticipating doing some, beach parties, and, hopefully it'll
You
just be a good
guys
time.
just need to be safe. And you probably should I know you've had a meeting already with these kids and moms, but you should probably reiterate to them it's not the US. So they
It's
need to
not.
mind themselves.
Yeah.
I'm
I think it'll
excited
be
for
fun.
you.
And I will be interested to circle back and ask, like, did you find this to be more of a girls' trip? Did you solidify these friendships? Are you going to be like the White Lotus, where you're going to meeting up with these ladies, 10 years from now, like, telling these stories? I don't know. If I'm going on vacation with Tim, like, of course I don't want to look bad, but it's like, I kind of am like, well, he's seen it all. Like, there's nothing to hide, like, my clothes, what I look like, but I sometimes feel like when I go on trips, or I go out for, like, I'm meeting friends out for dinner, like girlfriends out for dinner, I try to really juju it up, and I really put some extra thought into what I'm wearing.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that makes me weird or what, but do you think about this, or Kathy, when you're going on a trip with a bunch of girls? Like,
Yes.
do you stress out about what you're wearing more than you would any other time?
I mean, spring break is tough because no matter where you live in the United States, chances are you do not have a tan. So we've just come off of winter. We're pale and pasty, and our skin's dried out, and it doesn't feel good to put on a bathing suit. So I have put a little thought into like my linen cover up, my hat, my, sundresses. I happen to live somewhere where we wear sundresses a lot. So, but I also probably feel, I mean, the reality is at my age, I'm never going to look like amazing in a bathing suit anymore. So I've sort of like let it go and given
but you did
myself a
pre-shopping.
pass.
You
But I
bought some
did do some shopping, and I did buy a couple of new swimming suits. And I just bought the cutest couple of dresses today at the hospital. I went to
What?
yeah. So I went
What?
to yeah. So funny story. I went to the Children's Hospital today and just did like a little service, and they have this beautiful gift shop. Like half of it is like kids stuff and kids clothes and all the like cute little things and toys and books and all the things. And the other side of it is, some families stay at the hospital for a month, or something
Yeah.
happens, or the doctors get invited to go out to dinner or whatever. So they had all these really cute sweaters and dresses and blouses and men's shirts and stuff like that. And I found a couple of really adorable dresses that you girls will see at graduations, I'm sure. And then they give the proceeds back to the families that go to the
That's great.
hospital for long-term care or whatever. Or they buy like a emergency vehicle or a radiology machine or something like that. So anyway,
Well, what a cool little secret
It's the most amazing little shop in the Children's Hospital down at Vanderbilt. If you're in Nashville, check it out. It's adorable. And it's all going to a good cause. So,
yeah.
What a great little secret. Thank you for sharing that.
Well, I just wanted to add on to that shopping thing because I kind of do shop before I go on a trip too. I'm not going away for spring break this year, sadly, because my kids are playing lacrosse and they can't leave. I know. So I'm living through you, vicariously through you. But
I'll do my best to give you
I found a website that I thought was super cool. It's called livinginyellow.com, and we'll post it in the notes. But they like categorize everything. Like
it's
shoes,
very cute.
Swimsuits, shirts. They have women, men, tweens, kids under 5. I mean, you could just look at her site and you could be like, "Oh, I like that." And it will.
Is it a blog? Is it like a dressing blog?
It's like a website that has different categories, so you can click on
it just
things
talks about spring break this year, and so she organized like how to like visualize things, so you can look at like, oh, those are really cute sunglasses. I like those. It's item 5, you know, whatever it is, but then it categorizes from ages, so it's women and men and kids and whatever, and then beach needs like umbrellas, bags, like whatever. I just thought it was neat.
Yeah.
People, when they travel abroad, need to look at like the ratings of what the travel levels are, like your risks. So like Linda's going to the Dominican Republic, they're a travel to advisory, which means caution. So like Linda was saying, they're going to stay on the property. You're not supposed to go off property because your risk is greater. Mexico had an incredible amount of places that do not travel to. So
like the 4.
I mean,
red, caution.
Like really, like do not do it. Now Cancun, I think, is okay, but they were still saying that you have to be careful, like what kids do, because like urinating in public, you could get arrested.
Yeah.
You know, it's like they just don't have the same. I mean, that's illegal here too, but it's just not the same being thrown in jail in Mexico and being thrown in jail in the U.S.
But let's be clear, we don't want anybody thrown in jail anywhere.
But like even Florida is cracking down on spring breakers. Like Miami said they're sick of the shenanigans. And so they've got like curfew set up. They have beach raids set up where they can look at your bags. So, you know, I think it's trying to keep people.
Panama City, your old stomping ground, is the same way they started it last year.
No girls gone wild.
The party's over.
All right, y'all. What's for dinner?
Well, tonight it's just Jack and I. Jack is playing in the All-Star hockey game, and so he just left and is going to eat on the road, which means I'm going to have girl dinner before I hit the road also. So maybe some like tuna fish and crackers, and then I got to get out the door.
Nice. That sounds disgusting to me. I cannot stand tuna fish. Kathy, what about you?
Yummy.
I actually think my husband is making tacos, but I just gotta
start making that like a fun like drinking game. Like how many nights a week do you eat tacos?
Well, we usually have it one night a week, just FYI. But tonight I got a call from my boys. They're like, "Mom, we're going out with lacrosse for dinner." So my husband does not know this.
He's going to be annoyed.
That's going to be
tomorrow.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Well, I guess you've got a lot of tacos to eat, so he doesn't feel so bad.
Right.
We are having jambalaya.
Yummy.
A non-spicy jambalaya because
in honor of Fat Tuesday or Mardi Gras.
Yes.
Nice.
So
fun.
I will post that in our show notes.
Yummy. Sounds delicious.
Well, we want to thank you for listening to our podcasts and letting us sisters jump into your day. Please make sure to follow, rate, and review us. And please don't forget about our book club. We're reading Killers of a Certain Age by Deanna Rayborn. Happy reading, and we hope you all have a great weekend. Sisters out.